Hello, everybody. Welcome to another review from the Power Bomb Project. I am one of your hosts, Daniel, joined by my other two hosts.
It's Berman.
Hey, Chris.
So today we're going to be talking about WWE Backlash 2023. And honestly, before I hop in, I thought the Puerto Rico crowd was such a fantastic crowd. Probably one of the best crowds I've seen from a wrestling show in years. So shout out to that crowd in Puerto Rico. They killed it. What else do I want to say? Yeah, every single performer killed it with the exception of one performer, which I'll get to later on in this review. And yeah, that's all I could really say. I thought this was a great show. And the crowd took what was an entertaining show and made it even more entertaining. So that's all I really have to say on that for the general thoughts. What do you guys think about the show before we dive into these matches?
To me, I say the same thing. I love the crowd. It was just probably one of the best crowds so far out of a WWE pay-per-view that I watched. It was amazing. I think they did great. Everyone did a great job except one person, and we'll talk about that later. Same thing as Danny said, pretty much. I have the exact same opinion.
And I'm under the same impression too, with the exception of maybe there was one other match I strongly disliked, but I'll get there. There's two bad matches, but whatever. We'll get there when we get there.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the opener of this show was for the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Iyo Sky. Now, I will say this. Bianca, a lot of people have thought, well, not a lot of people, but there are some people in the community, like Berman, for example, that believe that Bianca has kind of gotten stale as of recent. And her reign has gone for way too long. And I can definitely understand that critique, but this is what I will say. Me personally, I love Bianca Belair's matches. She had an amazing match with Asuka. She had an amazing match with Becky. She had one with Bayley. She has consistency. The only match in this entire title reign I did not like at all was the Bianca versus Alexa match at the Royal Rumble. So when it comes to at least the match quality, I feel like Bianca is always able to bring it. And I think that's something a lot of people cannot deny. But I will say this. The focus was not on Bianca necessarily in this match. It was on Iyo. And this is a surprise. Bianca got completely booed by that Puerto Rico crowd, and everyone cheered for Iyo. And it's a rare sight to see Bianca get booed by a crowd like that, but it happened, and she had her little John Cena and ECW experience, I guess you could say. But she won, and Damage Control tried to interfere, but in an ironic way, their interference cost Iyo. So, yeah, Bianca retains, and not only that, she just broke Becky Lynch's record, and she is now at 399 days as Raw Women's Champion, and she is the longest reigning modern-day Women's Champion in history. So, those are some interesting things right there. Overall, I thought, again, this was an amazing match, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And hopefully WWE paid attention to the crowd reaction to Iyo in particular, and hopefully they push her even just beyond this title match.
Yeah, to me, this is the same thing, kind of. You're completely right by this, that I don't like Bianca. She's kind of being stale. At first, I loved her. She was very fun. I liked her, but now very stale. But this match was actually really good. I think this good job. I really loved that everyone booed Bianca, but everyone cheered Iyo, and I think it was very funny. It makes me laugh a lot, and I was really happy to see how good this match was. And I'm okay with. It kind of sucks that Iyo lost, but it kind of gives it probably Damage Control probably will break up with this match kind of happening. That's how I feel it. I don't feel like Chris doesn't like that, because I know you or Chris likes Damage Control. I do too, but it seems like Iyo is better off solo. So I'm really just hoping that after Bianca is done, because after she's already record, she's already in history right now. I just hope in the next pay-per-view she loses that title. That's the only thing I'm hoping right now. I'm hoping the next match she has against for that title, she loses that title. Because right now, that's enough. We have enough right now. She wanted history? Good. Now let someone else have history. That's all I want to see right now from that Bianca Belair stuff right now. But I think fun, even if I give it a 8.5 for myself.
Now, before Chris goes up, there is one thing I have to mention that I am very nervous about. So, you remember the title swap between Charlotte and Becky 2 years ago?
Yup.
Oh, yeah.
France.
Yeah,
I,
it's probably
I,
what happened.
I have a very bad feeling that's going to happen, and I just have to say this. It doesn't matter who it is. You do not end a year-plus long title reign on a swap. That is just beyond stupid, and I hope they are able to find some way around that, because if not, then that is ridiculous. And honestly, the titles would honestly be seen more as trading cards than actual titles at this point if they go through with that. And I would also feel bad for Rhea, because it's like she won the belt a month ago. That's not a fucking reign, you know?
I can understand that a little bit, but it's still the same thing. You're still a champion. You're just changing championships, and it's kind of like, well, you're getting drafted, so now you get kind of getting some new, but you're still a champion. So thankfully, you're probably still, if anything, if anyone thinks about it, it's still saying that, oh yeah, now Bianca can add to her storied career at SmackDown and increase that title reign more if they think about it. That's how I think about it right now.
I guess. I just think it's, I just think it's completely dumb for them to do that, but that's just
If
my
they
opinion.
don't, it'd be fun. If they could just change the titles, but they don't swap titles, they just change the colors, and that's all.
Yeah.
They could do that if they wanted to.
That's what I'm hoping. Or like the name something, because the men don't have to swap their world titles, right? Anytime they swap brands. They don't have to do that, so why the hell do the women have to do that? I don't know.
Because once Raw, one is the women's championship for Raw, and then the other one's for SmackDown.
Exactly. That's the issue. They're named after those shows, so that's why they're treated like trading cards. But it's just a shit situation,
Well, they can probably find. We find out on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they do.
Chris?
Oh, you're good in the same way. I'd actually like to give praise to the next match, surprisingly in Daniel's favor, because that one caught me off guard. But this match is a 10 for me.
A 10 for Iyo and Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Pretty sick. Now, Seth Rollins versus Omos.
But before you start, Daniel,
Be prepared.
I like to apologize to all the homophobes out there, because this changed my mind on Omos.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Omos had such an amazing match, and I'm so proud. And yeah, this is all I have to say, me. I'm not even, as an Omos sapien, I'm not even mad that he lost, because he kicked out of not one, he kicked out of 2 curb stomps. Cody hasn't even kicked out of 2 curb stomps, but almost did. Almost did. So that's pretty crazy, man. And it took a top rope curb stomp. Riddle, it only was the second rope curb stomp. No, this one was a top rope curb stomp. It took everything out of Seth Samuel Rollins to beat this man. And that's how he should be. This man is a monster. And it was exposed in this match. And the best part was how Omos was mocking that Puerto Rico crowd doing that theme, that battle hymn of Seth Rollins. Best part of the match. But okay, real talk though. This was really entertaining, really fun. And I think this was booked the best way it possibly could have been booked. Overall, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I think to me, I was surprised too, because I thought this Omos match would not be that good, but actually it was very fun. And now I want to see more from Omos, more going against Gunther. That would be see.
Yeah,
why not? That makes more fun, because it'd be 2 big men. How is it going to work? So it's going to be very fun. And then Roman, that's going to be a weird one, but it's going to be fun to see if they actually do that too. But it was actually very fun. I was excited to see that super. I'm going to call it the super curb stomp, pretty much. That was a great curb stomp, and I think the match was great too. I think I would give this an 8.5 too.
You know what, dude? At first, when I saw this crap, I was just like, I was making fun of Daniel the entire time yesterday, and I'm like, oh, this match is just gonna be nothing but a 5. But no, I was wrong. And again, I apologize to Omos because the dude can actually wrestle, and I thought it was hilarious during Seth Rollins' entrance that Omos, being based as he was, just kicks him straight, gives him a big boo during mid-song was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So, just for that, I'll give it 8.5. It was awesome.
That dude literally interrupted the crowd singing his song. That was amazing.
This is the most Chad thing you could do, man.
Now, this next match is for the United States Championship. The United States Champion, Austin Theory, versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. Now, I thought this was a very fun match. Yet another very fun match, you know? I thought all three were able to bring unique and different offense into the match, and all three of them were able to stand out because of that. You had Bobby looking like a beast and, you know, doing all his slams and spears and stuff. Then you got Austin Theory doing a lot of his, you know, athletic moves and kicks and stuff like that. But then, in my personal opinion, the very highlight of the match, Bronson Reed. This dude did a Bam Bam Bigelow moonsault towards the end of the match. Yes, he missed. But the fact that, you know, he attempted that shit, being like, as huge as he is, that shit was awesome. And he also just had a really brutal splash on the outside of Bobby Lashley at one point. So, yeah, I thought Bronson Reed brought the fight just as much, if not more, than the other two. Just a very fun and good showcase triple threat right here. Now, Theory retained, stealing the pin off of Bobby Lashley. And he pinned Bronson after Bronson got hit with the spear. So, Theory retained, but one interesting thing I have to mention here, Theory is in the heavyweight championship tournament, but let's just all be real. He's not winning this. Right, guys? He ain't winning.
Man.
You know,
So, there's someone on Twitter who called him out for that U.S. title. Grayson Waller.
I knew it. I freaking knew that. Grayson Waller would call out him instantly.
Stop.
So it looks like Austin Theory's next opponent or next feud, and the guy that could very well be taking away that U.S. title from him, is Grayson Waller, since they're both on SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm actually perfectly fine with that. I actually love Grayson Waller. Just too much fun to watch. He's a complete a-hole, but he's so much fun to watch at the same time. So I'm okay with him taking that title from him. But even if this match was very fun too, I loved it. This match was very good. There was Bronson Reed definitely was a highlight reel in this match. That Vader bomb splash from to the outside was brutal. That moonsault was something else. I think they did a great job, all three of them, and I can't wait to see more from them on each of the brands. I can't wait to see Bronson versus Walter. That's another match that's going to be fun to watch. And yeah, I think it was a fun match. I would give this a 8 for me.
And same here. I was utterly impressed by Bronson Reed because, like, I didn't know much about the guy. And to be fair, I wasn't being nice because I was making fun of him for being a little chunky.
For the 10th millionth time, he sees someone new, assumes they suck, and then he gets proven wrong.
Sometimes. Not Ruby Soho. She still sucks. But anywho, this match, you didn't really see much of Austin Theory, but I get it. It wasn't really the main focus of him. It was just it was Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed going at it. And there was a lot of close corners, and Bronson Reed was definitely like the highlight of the matches, but you know, Austin Theory didn't really do much, if I'm being quite honest. He was just being sneaky and teaming up with Bronson too. And of course, he got him for roll-up pin, so you know, they're going to be for a little longer until Grayson Waller gets more of a push. So we will see, and I'll give this an 8. It was fun, decent, not too crazy.
All right, a 7.5, 8, and an 8. Next match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega. Now, personally, I enjoyed this match. I actually liked it quite a bit. It wasn't one of the highlight matches of the night, but that's okay. You don't need that for every single match. So this is what I'll say. Rhea Ripley looked pretty dominant, but that's the thing. You want Rhea Ripley to be a dominant champion. That's the way it should be. And then as for Zelina Vega, it's not like she got totally bitched out. She was able to get some nice offense in here and there. And she was able to look legit in certain portions, but still, Rhea looked like a monster. Zelina got a huge ovation, and it felt like a homecoming, and yeah, that's the great stuff right there. So it felt like the moment was bigger and more important than the match, and that's perfectly fine. You know, the moment in all for Zelina, even though she lost, was still an amazing moment, and that's all that really matters in my eyes. So overall, I enjoyed this for what it is, and I'm going to remember this for what it is. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I remember this match being announced, and you guys said your wish came true for me because I was begging, like in the last video talking about the women, like the misusing women. I said Zelina Vega needs to be used, and finally they used her in the greatest way they could, and her pretty much her home cut in Puerto Rico at her home, pretty much. It pretty much made that so much better for her, and I think this could set her up against Bianca when next title. Hoping that going against Vega against Belair soon, because I can see that it's kind of happening too. This is kind of like a good push for Zelina. But even if this match was very fun, it was not the biggest match, but it was still very fun and a great kind of a great push and a great moment for Zelina and all the people there. It was very good. I loved the singing from the crowd. It was just way fun. It was good to do that. The entrance for Zelina, great too. And yeah, I think it was okay. I think I'll give this a 7.5. I think it was very fun. I can't wait to see more from Zelina. I'm hoping they use her more and go for that title.
And I'm kind of indifferent. Like, as of right now, I will say the moment was awesome. Her entrance was great, and it was like a pretty wholesome moment. But if we're talking the match itself, I'm sorry, but this is a glorified jobber match. If I'm being quite honest with you two, because what did she actually do? All she did was shoulder tabs, a 619, and that's about it. She was just getting her ass.
She did a DDT, so
more than that.
she countered She countered the Riptide into a DDT. That was a pretty good one too. So she did a good amount, dude.
I don't know, man. I wasn't feeling it.
50-50 match when Zelina's literally half her size, dude.
I know that, but I'm just like the whole time. I'm like, you're just. Even the crowd was just like, stop fucking around in Spanish. Like 6 minutes into the match was pretty funny, and I get it. You got to build Ripley. She's a monster, but I just didn't like the match. I liked the moment, but the match itself was very boring in my opinion. Because I don't like these kind of matches. They're boring. If I want to see jobber matches, I watch SmackDown or Rampage or Dynamite for that instance. So I'm just gonna give it a 5 for what it is. It's fine, mid, beautiful moment though. But that's all I really have to say about that one. Not the worst one.
All right.
Not the worst one.
All right. Next match is in my opinion, the match of the night. The San Juan Street Fight. Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. Man, this was outstanding. I loved every second of this. This is what I will say. It's not the end of the world, but this should have been the main event. I don't get what WWE thought in their heads when they decided to make this go third to last. And you know what is even more illogical about this show? I have to mention. You know how they called this the double main event, and then they put a match in between the double main event? It's stupidity right there.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
So, this is what we'll say, though. This should have been the very last match, but it's not the end of the world. This is still an outstanding match. This is, honestly, my favorite celebrity match ever. Like, it's just that, it was that damn good. And Bad Bunny just really brought the fight, man. And he did Nishioku drivers, Falcon arrows, the Canadian destroyers. He was hitting those moves like he's been doing it for years, man. And he is someone who is an international artist, one of the biggest artists, if not the biggest artist in the entire world. And he's over here coming to WWE and doing this shit. He doesn't have to. Like, you see, for guys like Logan and Pat, no offense to those guys, but doing WWE adds on to what they already do. Bad Bunny is so big, he doesn't need to do this shit, but he does it anyways. That in itself says it all. And Bad Bunny, you could tell, is a true passionate fan for the fact that he did his entrance, and his entrance was actually a similar entrance to a tribute, I should say, to New Jack, whenever he had that grocery cart of weapons. So that was just an awesome reference right there. And yeah, just this proved Damian Priest can bring it in that main event when you need him in that main event. He proved he's that good of a player. And you had the LWO, you had the Judgment Day interferences. We all expected that. But there were two things nobody expected. The returning Carlito. That was awesome. And then we also got Savio Vega. So we got two great returns in Puerto Rico. Awesome moment. And apparently Carlito might be returning to WWE full time. I have no idea. But if that's like fully true, but it might be. Carlito said he's open to going back to WWE. So only time will tell on that one. And who knows, maybe he could join the LWO if he joins. That'd be pretty cool. And yeah, again, the match ended with the Canadian Destroyer, aka the Bunny Destroyer. And yeah, this is probably the most fun wrestling match of the entire year. One of WWE's best matches of the entire year. And you know how I said Bad Bunny was better than Logan Paul? You know what? Scratch that. Bad Bunny is better than 90% of wrestlers alive today.
I wouldn't go that far, dude.
I'm giving this match a 9.5 out of 10. I am going that far because I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, maybe I would say the same. I'm probably not overdoing it, but I do say the same thing, kind of, that I really love this match, too. This should have been the main event, 100%. I think this match was just way too much fun, and Bad Bunny doing the best thing. He loves wrestling. That's the big thing about a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, that they do for like money or just do it to do better things. Bad Bunny really does this for his fans and does it because he loves wrestling so much. So this was just, to me, so much fun to see. This match is so, I love everyone just cheering and singing along to the song, to his entrance music is really good. The entrance is nice. The I think most incredible thing was Bad Bunny going through the tables from the broken arrow. That was surprising to me to see that. You don't see that from a lot of celebrities. So that was great to see from that whole thing. And I think it was just an awesome match in general. I can't say anything more. And then it was probably one of the best matches of the night, and probably so far the best match of the year. I definitely give it a 9.5 out of 10 for me.
And I'm honestly the same way too, because it's funny, because I really thought like, oh, they're gonna save this for him, but like besides this, there was like no other two matches that even came close of this being so much damn fun. And like you said, Danny, seeing Carlito, because I was a big fan of his like way back in the day, and when he came out, I was like, nah, dude, get out of here. And he even did the Apple thing, and did the spine breaker on Dominic. That shit was cool. So overall, it was a fun match, and Bunnies Can't Fly. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 too. It was excellent.
The one thing I will say as well is that entrance is entrance of the year, in my opinion. But another thing I will say is we did Roman versus Logan. I see no reason why we can't do Roman versus Bad Bunny.
Yeah, that'd be so much fun to me. I think that'd be great to see. And another, like maybe, I don't know where he could do that. Maybe in Puerto Rico. Maybe next time they go to Puerto Rico.
Next time we go to Puerto Rico, yeah.
That's gonna kill. That's gonna kill Puerto Rico. That's literally gonna kill the world in Puerto Rico itself.
It's gonna be insane.
So that's just my personal opinion. Now we talked about the peak of the show, but let's move on. The Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and the Usos versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Matt Riddle. So, there was a lot of great storytelling in this match. This is another storytelling piece from the Bloodline. And Jay and Solo were kind of bickering throughout the match because Solo doesn't trust his brothers to get the job done, so he kept tagging himself in. And Jay eventually got sick of this and decided to tag himself back in, but when he did, he gave his brother a chop across the chest, basically. And Solo was like, he was ready to hit that Samoan spike on Jey Uso at any moment before they won the match and things got calmed down by Jimmy Uso. Solo basically wiped the entire team at the end. Like, he just looked like an absolute monster in the last 2 minutes of this match. And then, what I will say is this. Some of the dialogue Jay was saying was just incredibly interesting. Like, how he's not your brother, I am. I think that clearly refers to Roman Reigns, obviously. And yeah, me, I'm on the Jay dethroning Roman agenda. That's the agenda I will be on for till the day Roman loses that title. So yeah, for me, I kind of got this sensation like, all right, the trigger has to be pulled soon, because let's be real, now we're getting near that point of where if they don't pull this trigger soon, it's going to be too late. And when I say trigger, I'm not necessarily just talking about Jay winning that title. I'm talking about the betrayal in general. Even if Jay doesn't win the title, this betrayal needs to happen sooner or later before you get the audience to start losing interest. If you ask me, pull the trigger this week on SmackDown. Yep, I'm serious. Pull the trigger this week to end off SmackDown. And that will lead to a Jey Uso solo run and potentially a revenge run against Jimmy, Solo, and Roman. Because Jimmy, here's the thing, Jimmy isn't really fighting all of it as much. Jay is. If both of them aren't going to get betrayed, then only one of them will, and that one will be Jey Uso. They need to pull this trigger this week or at Night of Champions. We can't wait on this much longer. This is where this is the hottest the story is going to get. Right here. This is when to do this.
Yeah, to me, I do agree with that too. I think they should definitely pull the trigger on that whole thing. This whole match was more or less like a setup to say something's happening with the Bloodline, and this whole thing is pretty much combusting. And I had the thinking, I was after the match, I was thinking to myself, Solo Sikoa is kind of acting like the Samoan executioner for Roman Reigns, where if he wants to, he can kill anyone by using Solo as the executioner. And that's how I think to myself how Solo is going to act, with him pretty much being more with Roman than his brothers. Pretty much he's going to execute his brothers once Jay betrays him. Solo's going to start executing both Jimmy and Jay, just because they feel like it's going to be cahoots, like it's going to be a big explosive breakdown. To me, this is how I feel like it. But I love the match too. It was not that bad. It was just because the storyline just made it more fun. So I probably just give it a 7.5. It was not the best match, but it was just a fun match to see kind of more story for the Bloodline.
Yeah, and before Chris goes off here, all I will say is I give the match an 8 because I forgot to give my rating. But for real though, I think Solo, or I should say Roman, has Solo on his side now. I think it's definitely obvious. He has turned Solo against his brother successfully.
Yeah, like you said, the match itself, at first I gave it like a 9, but I was like realistically thinking about it, and I'm just like, no. Story wise, it was good. Match quality, I'll give it an 8. Like, honestly, the main highlights of this is really just Jay and then Solo going at it, because realistically, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and especially Riddle didn't really do anything. But I feel like this match wasn't really about them. It's just more of like the aftermath of the Bloodline, like falling apart little by little. But they should pull the trigger soon, because You don't want to drag this for like until like WrestleMania. Hopefully, like the next pay per view, the King of Kings, or maybe like Money in the Bank or whatever is after that. So for what it is, I'll get 8. The story tie was good.
All right. Now
The poopy
the
match.
second of the double main event. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Can Brock retire? Like, this dude doesn't give a shit. Can he just go away? I'm being genuinely honest here. I'm not gonna raise my voice. I'm not gonna rant my ass off like usual, but I will say these things. Brock does not give a fuck about this business. He is in it only for the money. And this is information we've all known for the longest time, but it hasn't got more obvious till now. He hasn't gotten any lazier till now. He has only put an effort into 2 matches since he came back as this Cowboy Brock. And they were both with Roman Reigns. So, it's pretty ironic. Now, Cody Rhodes tried. He really tried, but he was working with a fucking brick of a pro wrestler. Like, this dude can't do shit other than F5s and variations. Like, this suplex city thing, I don't get how people are so into this. I really don't. I'm not. I've been sick of this shit ever since he ended the streak back in 2014, and that was stupid as fuck. That's, to this day, the dumbest booking decision of all time in terms of WWE booking decision. It's ridiculously stupid because Brock was already established. He didn't need this shit, and even now, he doesn't need to be in the main events of WWE pay-per-views in 2023. And you could be saying, why are you ranting? He lost, you know, Cody won. He couldn't just, you know, give the decisive victory to Cody. Like, I mean, here's the thing. Even if it wasn't booked that way from Vince, look at Brock's track history. Under Trips, he was dog shit too. At this point, it's just Brock. This isn't on Vince. This isn't on Trips. This is completely on Brock. He is lazy as shit. He does not give a flying fuck. And that's just the truth. And I don't want Brock versus Gunther. You can all have that stupid ass match. I don't want it. I want him to go away. That's what I want. But regardless of what I want, this dude's going to stick around. He's going to get his millions. WWE are going to shell out those millions to him because they know he gets those tickets. So it's dumb. It's just dumb. I'm just sick of it. But regardless of it, though, Cody got that win with some kind of fucking stupid-ass roll-up while he's trapped in the Kimura lock. And the roles of this match was stupid, too. Why would you have Brock be the one who's bleeding when you could have Brock beat the ever-living shit out of Cody, make Cody the one bleeds, and Cody could have made that comeback and gotten that heroic victory, and a bloody Cody standing over Brock, that would have made a statement. But no, you had to have Cody roll up a bloody Brock Lesnar. I mean, come on, man. This shit should be more simple than it is. And if you think this is how you're going to get people to care about, you know, Cody getting that rematch with Roman, if you think shit like this is going to make people invested, it's not. You need to do better than this. This match was a bad match with an even worse ending. I did not like this at all. I was really annoyed with the fact that we had 6 matches that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I thought the show as a whole was flowing very well, and then you had the end with this, and it's just very disappointing, very underwhelming, very lackluster. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll probably say the exact same thing. And I want to bring this up to the Undertaker stuff because everyone knows this for me about the Undertaker for me. So, so many people, even Undertaker, because I've been watching the Impulsive stuff because it's kind of fun to hear how he talks to other wrestlers. Edge and Undertaker himself said it was stupid for me or Undertaker to lose that streak. If anyone should have had the streak to take that streak away, it was Roman. both wrestlers hated that decision. And it was really interesting that you brought that up too. So it was very fun. I want to bring that up really quickly, but yeah, this match. I love Cody, but Brock Lesnar is just a piece of shit always. It's annoying. You know that Brock Lesnar is going to interfere on Monday Night Raw to cost Cody that championship title aspirations. We already know this. That's what's going to happen. It's just going to be dumb because it's going to be the same thing. It's going to happen to this pay-per-view. Then the next pay-per-view with Cody versus Brock, it's going to be a bad match. There's nothing good about him because Brock Lesnar just sucks. He's not. It's the same thing as Ronda Rousey right now. Well, no. Ronda Rousey's a little bit better because she actually supports people. Brock Lesnar just doesn't care about anything. And Brock Lesnar really needs to just go back to UFC and do whatever he likes because UFC is probably better for him than whatever he wants. Or just go back to his farm and just pick up cow shit. That's all he needs to do right now. Brock Lesnar sucks. And this was not. It was. I liked Cody Rhodes doing a lot of things, but Brock Lesnar sucked. So I'm going to do a 4.5.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. At least Cody didn't lose, thank God. But the only memorable, I can't even talk, memorable spot was just, Brock taking, the bloodshot thing. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it was kind of boring. At first, I was kind of excited for him to fight Gunther. But if this is just going to be it, what's the point? Like, I get it, Brock is a legend and all, but it's lazy, it's boring, and it's just like, I was expecting more, but whatever. This ain't on Cody. This on Brock.
Like, people need to wake the fuck up and call Brock out on this shit.
Yeah.
Like, man. Jesus Christ.
It was
so, back to being positive, though. I thought it was a damn good show. As a matter of fact, a great show. And probably one of the better pay-per-views throughout the year so far. So overall, I'm going to be giving this an 8 out of 10. One of the best backlashes ever.
Yep, I say the same thing. Everything, all the matches were great except one, but everything, it was so great. All these matches were memorable and everything. So 100% 8 for me.
I'm going to give it a 9. This is actually one of my favorite WWE pay-per-views so far for this year, which is crazy. It was really good.
For sure, man. Now, that was our review. WWE Backlash 2023. Please leave a like, hit that subscribe button. It'll definitely do a lot for us. Leave a comment on your thoughts of Backlash. If you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it, let us know. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Daniel.
I've been Berman.
I'm Chris.
And we'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.